Hey everyone, I've had a request. See, I always say I do requests, don't I? Excuse me if my voice still sounds a little bit funny. I've had COVID last week. I'm pretty much fully recovered now. I'm even being back to the museum. Life is getting back to normal. I'm just trying to catch up on things, but I do sound a little bit snuffly still. So, please bear with me. Now, yes, the viewer request was that just because it is coming into autumn in the Northern Hemisphere doesn't mean it is all over the world. Tropical is what I'm being asked for. So, yeah, let's do tropical. Now, I've got some silicone inlays. Here they are. Bit of an assortment. And, yeah, I thought we'd have a go and see what we can do with these. Now, these I have actually made for in my store. This is another by popular request thing. This is what they look like. Nice, floppy, soft silicone. Mould is from Moulds and Shapes. Now, normally what I do when I use inlays, I tend to lay them onto the mould, which means that I get the indent in the what becomes the top surface. However, of course, you can use silicone inlays in the back because silicone, unless it's really chunky, does float quite nicely on resin. So I thought we'd have a go at doing a tropical theme, and we will colour up our inlays and we will put them on the back so that it comes through as like a 3D effect. So let's get stuck in. Just look at that. These are gorgeous. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to have a play. Let's have... You've got to have some of this green. I think this is a glitter, isn't it? Metallic turquoise. Oh, no. Yes, metallic turquoise glitter. Look at that. So I think what I'm going to do with this one is dust a little bit around the edges and see if it sticks first. Oh, it does. Oh, it sticks to the inlays. In that case, I'm going to carry on. We're going to have quite a bit of this. The inlays I make from Let's Resin's silicone. It's really soft, so a lot of your pigments and chameleon powders and stuff stick to it. I knew some glitters would. I wasn't sure about these, and they do. I'll put your links for everything below as usual anyway. If you're going looking for the links, if you click on the show more thing in the description of the video below, and it will open it up and there'll be some useful links for you. What I tend to do is put the links for the stuff that's peculiar to this particular video, and then below that I'll put a list of a lot of my other favourite stuff. But there's also a link down to my full product list, because I know people are finding that very useful. There we are. That's nice, isn't it? So we need a bit of that on one of the others. Let's go for this feathery one. Just going to dab a bit around the edge and then we'll spread it out. I think this little pot of glitter, I think this is from the Essentials glitter set from Just For You online, if I remember rightly. There we are. The nice thing about working with silicone inlays on a silicone mat is that they stick too, and it makes them stay nicely in position while you're trying to work with them. Right, this one is Teal Sparkles. Teal It Sparkles. And I haven't opened it yet, look. I thought I had. I thought I'd opened all of these, you know. Ooh, that looks nice. Let's see what that does. I wonder whether it's a paint it on or whether it's more of a... Oh no, you can paint it on alright. Look at that shine. Oh. That is gorgeous. So I'm just going to put a little touch of that down the middle of the leaf. That's one of the pigments, I think. I've got so many of these now. You'll have to have a look on the website. They've got this huge range of these beautiful colours. Done the green. There's a bluey one here. Let's have a look at the bluey one. What's this? Is this one of the glitters? Blue Lagoon. I think, yes, this is one of the glitters. What was that one? That was actually a pigment powder, that shiny one. That when we put down the middle there. Let's have a little bit of Blue Lagoon on this one. Oh, that's nice. Just a little bit. I'm now wondering what to do about the background. I'm thinking reds and golds, maybe. I'm going to stop with this Blue Lagoon shortly. I think I only want to go part way up one of them. Well, a couple of them. Bit blending and sparkling. And there's this pale one. What's this? Turquoise pigment powder. See, I really thought I'd opened all these. This is a lovely pale one. Clean my brush up a bit. So where am I going with this? Let's go along the edges of this one. Oh, that's gorgeous. Look how pale and beautiful that is. Ooh. If anybody fancies any of these pigments, glitters or whatever, by the way, it's just, they are all from Just For You online. I have got a discount code for you. That's also in the description below. It's just mini scenes 15. And that'll get you a nice discount. Oh, lovely. Right. This is a good chance to play with all these, isn't it? Do I want to go as far as that colour? They're all greeny bluies so far, aren't they? Yeah, I think I will, just for a bit of contrast. Let's put it in the middle of this one. This is another glitter. So let's just put a little bit there. There's maybe a bit on the edges of this one. But look at that. Can you? I hope the camera's picking this up. That is. Oh. I'm actually quite stunned by how these glitters go on silicone. Probably depends on the silicone, on the type of mould. I know I've got some moulds that glitters and things just don't stick to. This is part of the reason I use that Let's Resin silicone. It is the only one I use nowadays. I've tried loads. Always ended up coming back to my Let's Resin one. Love it. And I know whatever mould I make using it, stuff sticks to it. It's just so soft. Right, I've just decided to delve into my nail art stuff collection. So this is from a cheap nail art set. I haven't used it for a little while. I tend to use it a lot for dragons when I'm in dragon making mode. And I thought this might be a really good finishing touch to these. And what I'm basically going to do is fill in all the gaps. So we'll whiz this forward now, because this is going to be my kind of final touch base colour. Okay, it's finishing touches time now. I'm a bit concerned that I may have put too much of that green and swallowed up some of those more delicate colours that I'd put on. It is quite overpowering. So what I'm doing now is just going around with a little touch of the other colours that I've used, just to bring that back a little. And this light teal is proving to be quite useful, because the glitter shows through it. But look, it's just allowing me to highlight edges and corners. Isn't that nice? The other thing I've noticed is that on the little monster leaves, I've ended up with colour in the holes. Now some of them, the holes are actually, in reality, filled in. But I don't want them to appear that way when they're in use. So I should be doing something about that in a moment. So really this is just a bit of fiddling and fine-tuning. Let's get a bit more of this green sparkler in. Ah, look at that. I do love these. Gonna have a right clean-up job in a second, aren't I? But yeah, I'm gonna have to get a little micro brush and get some of that back out. So I'm going to spray a little bit of alcohol into something. There we go, it's a little bottle top. So, I'll tell you a little bit more about these molds while I'm inlays while I'm doing this. I've got two different designs of sets of leaves. The other one's a bit smaller, a little bit more stylised, you know, more sort of cartoonish, I suppose is the word. They're ever so cute. They're both in my store. They have been for a while, and I have got a few made up in stock. So if you want to treat yourself, go for it. I like making these inlays. Right, I'm going to tidy this lot up. I'll have a little clean up and we'll get our big tray out. The resin I'm using is Apex One Coat. Again, I'll put you the link for this below. This is a 2-hour cure. I've been telling everybody it's a 4-hour cure because I tend to leave things a lot longer for luck. But if your conditions are right, you know, your room's a decent temperature, you've mixed it well, all that sort of thing, it is feasible to be demoulding this stuff in 2 hours. What I'm doing is putting in a clear layer first. Now, I might put a little bit of sparkle around here. Oh, I don't know. No, I think I'm going to leave it clear for once. I always tend to put something in there, and maybe it'd be nice not to. So we're going to get a clear layer in, and that is the layer we're going to put our little leaves down onto. So this is going to be, let me think, 3 steps, and that's part of the reason for using a resin that you'd normally use for thinner pours, to be fair, because I'm going to end up doing this in 3 layers, I think. Yeah, I'm going to need the clear layer first, then I'm going to need to put, when I take the inlays out, I'm going to need to back those with something, and then, so probably black, and then put all the reds and golds and things in over the top. Yeah, so it's kind of 3 steps. So another good reason for using a quick cure one. You can see, because of the way I tend to stir things, I have introduced a load of bubbles. Don't panic, it degasses really, really well, this stuff does. I could have also warmed up the resin part A, just to make it mix easier and lose some of the bubbles, but because it's a little bit cooler now here in the UK. But I'm not too worried. I don't tend to bother with things like that. I've also got one of those wonderful airless machines, but again, because I don't think it's going to be a problem with this one, I'm not going to worry about degassing the thing, this lot. Okay, so we have our resin settling nicely. As you can see, the bubbles are popping out of it beautifully, and I have run round with a stick just to make sure that we're none stuck to the edges, but that will carry on degassing. Just going to give it a little spritz of alcohol to help that process, and then I'm going to give the mould a little wipe, like so. And there we are, that is going nicely. Now, the leaves. I'm just going to lay them in, and let's see if this theory that they float is actually right. This is a really thick resin, so you do, and because it cures so fast, yes, you do have to work quite quickly with it. You can't really hang around. You need to get on and get done what you're doing. Now, this is the one I've got 2 of. So I'm going to put that in there. The set normally includes 1 of each, by the way. This was just a spare separate one I'd got. And you know what? We've got more than enough. I certainly didn't need to open a second bag of them, did I? Now I don't want them on top of each other really, if I can help it, because it's going to make them hard to get out afterwards, isn't it? There we are. I haven't used the pattern, the shape that's in this mould really. I've just chucked these on top, so it'll overlap where the lines are, or the shapes in it. That's fine. I think that's, for a change, that's how I want it. Right, I'll be back in 2 hours. This needs to be pretty much cured. It doesn't need to be rock hard, but it does need to be pretty much cured. So I'm going to leave it 2 hours, because that's the cure time on this stuff. And then we'll come in and we'll peel these away and we'll back them, and then we'll start thinking about our top colour. So I shall see you soon. Okay, so I forgot to press record when I pulled these out, but they just came straight out, and as you can see the colour is transferred, all of it. I haven't cleaned these yet or anything. Now I'm just going to put like a smoky, I was going to say black, but not quite black. I want to put a dark background behind these, but I think I'm changing my mind about the colour for all this, and I'm thinking about like a beautiful blue. So whilst it would work with these, I think it's still going to pay me to put like a thin layer of like a smoky black. I'm waffling now. Let me get on and do it, and you'll see what I mean. Right, mix up some more resin. I'm just going to use one of my little shot glasses. Say shot glasses, they're cups, aren't they? Again, sticking with that same resin. I'm not going to need much, but it is still the Apex 1 coat. So this is a bit of a big make normally for these faster cure resins, but because we're working in fairly thin layers, it's working beautifully. I don't quite know how deep this is supposed to go up to. I think about 3 or 4 millimeters. But like most of Apex resins, it does seem to me you can push the boundaries rather with them. They do seem to go be a lot more adaptable than you would think. So I'm just going to put a little dot of black pigment in there. Mix it up and we'll pour it in. So I'm not worried about it being completely opaque black, although that looks like it's not going to be far off. Okay, there we are. Just going to clean up a bit where I dripped, where I didn't want to drip. Comes off easy as wink. There we are. Perfecto. So I'm going to leave this a couple of hours to cure up again. So this, thanks to this resin being such a fast cure, means that I'll have a project that's done in 3 layers that would normally have taken 2 to 3 days with another resin, and it'll be done within about 6 hours. Marvellous, isn't it? So I will see you in a couple more hours to put the last coat in. I'm still having second thoughts on the colours for the background, and I am thinking maybe we go for beautiful deep blue, maybe. I don't know. Still thinking. I'll keep posted on that one. See you shortly. Okay, so the back has cured up. Onto sorting out our colour, and I think I am going to go with a nice what should we call it, a Caribbean blue. So I'm going to need to mix something up, I think. Back in a moment with something mixed. Okay, so this is mixing up nicely, still with the same resin. And what I'm going to do is mix in a few colours. This is nearly there now, you can see it's starting to clear. The colours I'm going to mix in are, I kind of want this deep blue, but I want to make it a little bit greener and maybe slightly lighter, so I thought we'd put some of these pigments in it as well. These are some of the ones I was using on the leaves. So this is open water blue, and it's a pigment paste. So let's clean my little stick off. Now, being a paste, you don't need much. It's very thick. Look how thick that is. It's lovely stuff. Look at that. I mean, that is really seriously thick, isn't it? That'll be more than enough, I'm sure. So let's get that mixed in. And then I'm going to put in a little bit of each of these as well. So, love watching the colours form. Isn't that lovely? This is beautiful. It's such a deep, it's like a sapphire blue. And like I said, you don't need much to get a really rich colour going. Could just go with that actually, isn't it lovely? But no, I think I'm going to try mixing in a bit of these other ones. Just a little touch. So this is our green, which was called, what is it? Teal It Shimmer. So let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's nice. Actually, might leave it at that. Do I want to lighten it a bit? Not sure. Not really sure. I think I'm going to just a tiny touch. And this is that very pale turquoise shimmery one that we used earlier. Oh yeah, that's just giving it a little bit more something. Next question is, do I want it to be completely opaque? Again, I'm not sure. I think a bit more opaque than that, so I'm just going to put a little bit more of the blue. Doink. Might then need a little bit more of the green again, I don't know. Isn't that lovely? Yummy blue. Actually, no, I think that's got enough of that greenish tinge to it, because we're going to have quite a lot of green in the leaves anyway. So let's bring this back into shot, and we're just going to tip this in. Because I should now be all very well mixed. Beautiful. And this is our last coat. Well, this is interesting. You see how I do this? I'm doing this making it up as I go along thing again, aren't I? Originally, I was going to do sort of reds and golds background. But then again, I've done a lot with red and gold lately. And we've got Christmas coming up, so there will be red and gold all over the place, I'm sure. So this, so it's almost like a Caribbean blue. Lovely. I thought we'd make a change. So yeah, this is a combination of open water blue and then a couple of the, one is teal and the other is turquoise pigments. Just as you saw, just a little dot of those, just to lighten the colour slightly without losing the shimmer. If I just put a bit of white in, it would have lost some of that shimmer, possibly. And the deepness of it as well. I like the sort of blue, slightly turquoisey, greenish blue was what I was after. Right, I'm just going to encourage this out into the sides. Make sure we've got a good coverage. As you can see, it isn't completely and utterly opaque. You can actually just about make the leaves out through it, which is quite nice. That should be quite a nice effect, a translucence to it. That'll do. I will see you in another couple of hours, because this should have cured by then. See you later, people. Right then, demold time. Apologies for the ring light. I know it throws awful reflections, but I'm struggling to sort out anything better, and it is getting dark here. Right, let's see what we've got then. I'm quite excited about this, because this is another one that I haven't really tried doing this before, so it's not a new technique, but for me it is. I'm loving that colour, I must admit. That is beautiful. You can see I've got just a little bit of edge to run a file around there. Okay, oh yes, that is exactly what I had in mind. Look how that glitter's come through, and the other colours have just given that extra tinge over and above just using that nail powder. Look at the shimmer on that. Whoa, loving it. Right, okay, let's get some photos done, and then yeah, that's it. I will see you for the next video. Thanks for your support, everyone. Oh, and as a thank you, those of you who've watched this video all the way through, I'm going to do a little giveaway. Well, sort of. Anybody who buys one of these sets of leaves during the month of October 2023, will also get a little flamingo silicone inlay thrown in as a thank you from me. So yeah, these are on sale in my shop now. I'll put the link below. Anybody orders between now and the end of October, I'll be sending you a thank you flamingo, as you do. Yeah, I'm well pleased with that. See you for the next video then, folks. Thank you. Bye.